The Zone. Welcome to the Morning Blitz with John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in, everybody, to a Thirsty Thursday here in No Man's Land. We have a lot of SEC matchups to preview today to talk about the keys of victory and all of that good stuff. But we will hop into the main stuff of it all, and that is going to be the high school football that's going down on this station tomorrow. But before we do that, I just need to remind you, John Abraham, Captain Cool is my name, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. And you guys can find us on Twitter and online at 97.7 ESPN. And I want to talk about these high school games real quick because we have a pretty solid matchup going on with Sparkman going up against Grissom. That's going to be on Zone 1 as well as Zone 4. And on top of that, we got Madison Academy at Danville, Huntsville versus Bob Jones, as well as Randolph versus Westminster Christian, and Bandyman will be on that one. And, you know, you're thinking about, what am I going to do for a tailgate, huh? Well, there's one place that I have in mind, and that is Flow Supreme Air. It is definitely a different place to go and tailgate, but it adds a little bit more fun to your pregame ritual, and to help us kind of get that point across even more is one Mr. Brock Campbell, a former Auburn football player, as well as owner of Flow Supreme Air here in Huntsville. Brock, how are you doing today, man?
I am great, John. Thank you for the intro.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that one for quite a while. I wanted to bring it in. But, Brock, there's a lot of stuff going over on at Flow Supreme Air. I've been over there. Bandy's been over there. We've jumped, had a lot of fun. Kind of just talk about why, I mean, this is the place you've really been pushing for not only all of your fun during the wintertime, during the summertime, but on top of that, your pregame, maybe a little bit of a, you go there for a tailgate party, jump around, get ready for some football afterwards.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have a number of attractions that are all sports affiliated, as well as a huge TV wall, a projector, and we always try and have, on weekends, all the football games on, but we're actually conveniently located right by the new stadium where they're going to be playing some high school games. Yeah. So if you guys are playing there, I think it's a good idea definitely to stop by. There's a lot of good restaurants in the area as well, so get some energy out for those young ones, so they're not having to go play tackle football at the high school game like I used to do. But yeah, we've got a lot of different things to do.
Exactly. And I was actually one of those guys that went behind the bleachers and played a little bit of game, like my own football game as well, prior to playing on my high school football team. But I want to ask you this because I don't know if I've ever gotten this point across. But what is your favorite attraction at Flow Supreme Air?
I'd probably have to say the air track basketball court. It's definitely the most popular, but I think for me it's just I struggle now with my age. I'm getting older and older to actually get up there and dunk on a 10-foot goal. So the air track definitely gives you that boost. So you can do some pretty cool dunks, and then, I mean, it gets pretty competitive. You play a 3-on-3 game out there, you're going to burn some calories, and there's some competitors out there, so I'd definitely say that's my favorite.
Exactly, and I see a little bit of those tournaments that go down over there. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm just not the basketball guy, so I might be the guy watching from the side, because it is entertaining, I will say. It's like slam ball, but the entire court is one big trampoline or just a bouncy, platform. But kind of moving over, we did have you guys on zone deals today. It's already nearly sold out, so make sure if you guys haven't already gotten your zone deal, make sure you hop over to half-off deals and get yours now, because tomorrow is going to be, Football Friday, and you're going to want to make sure you have that deal going into your tailgate party. But now I want to move over a little bit. You did play at Auburn. Kind of want to talk about some Auburn football. Obviously, Hugh Freeze takes over as the head coach of this football team. They're finally getting into some SEC play against Texas A&M. Kind of just talk about what you like about this Auburn team and what you kind of think needs to improve if they want to be competitive within this SEC.
Yeah, so from what I've seen so far, the defense is definitely very solid. It's definitely keeping us in every game. On offense, we've been struggling, but it seems like we're starting to find our identity with Peyton Thorne. I saw he actually had one of the highest rushing grades in college football as a quarterback, which was awesome because we actually got to see his legs. And for those of you that watch the game that are, huge Auburn fans like me, it was kind of frustrating hearing Aaron Murray, a former Georgia quarterback, talk the entire game about Robbie Ashford, and that's all he wanted to see. But he clearly didn't listen to the press conferences that week where Hugh was saying, hey, it's kind of tough on these quarterbacks when they're not getting, every possession, and they're having to swap out, and they're playing musical chairs here. So, Peyton's our guy. We want to find a role for Robbie. But I think we kind of got to see that not only can Peyton throw the ball, but he's a runner. So it's promising going into the A&M game. We do have some injuries, going into it. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. We've struggled thus far. Definitely, we've had some turnovers, and it's been sloppy to say the least. But I think it's going to be a good matchup, and we're going to see what we're made of.
Yeah, that is definitely true. This Texas A&M team is no joke, but neither is this 2023 Auburn squad because, again, you look at their two quarterbacks, Peyton Thorne, Robbie Ashford. Both of these guys talented in similar ways, surprisingly. Robbie, obviously, the one that's looked at for more of the running game, but Peyton Thorne has definitely cemented himself as a starting leader for this Auburn squad as well. But, Brock, I don't want to hold you too long. Let the people know where they can find you and where they can also come and possibly jump around in that big facility of yours.
Yeah, so you can find us on either social media or our website, flowhuntsville.com, and then Flow Huntsville is all of our social media handles. Birthday parties are huge here, so if you guys are looking to take advantage of that, definitely book in advance because Saturdays are crazy busy here. Obviously, that's our big day. College football is going on, but we usually get close to selling out with those party rooms. So, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. I can't wait to talk with you more, Brock. It's been great just seeing everything that's been going down over at Flow. I'm looking forward to everything coming out later this year as well. Just kind of very excited to even just, have, a Flow trampoline park right next to where I live and also where I work. It's just wonderful to get a little exercise in. But, Brock, thank you very much for hopping on, buddy. Can't wait to see Auburn play up against Texas A&M this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, John.
No problem. Good stuff from Brock Campbell. Guy, he used to play for this Auburn team, okay? And he was a big body. He still is a big body, but definitely, guys, go and check out Flow Supreme Air. He was talking about that air track basketball court.
Yeah, I'm with him on that, where I'm starting to kind of feel a little maybe I can't really hang with these guys anymore.
Well, come on now, Bandy. We're a little younger. You played basketball.
I got tired after 2 jumps, man.
Yeah, I know. When we went out there, we were having a lot of fun. It definitely is a workout. You got to be ready for it. But hey, with that, like the soft platform that you are jumping on, it helps out with the aches and the pains that you'd get from playing on a normal basketball court. You'd come out and you'd have shin splints the next day, and you would not feel too great. That's what you're not going to get on the air track basketball court. Okay, you can get your cousin Kyle inside of the basketball court, and you can maybe beat him in basketball. I have no clue. Just do it, and you guys will have a fun time. You will not regret it, and you can still get a hold of some of those zone deals over on our zone deal page on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So make sure you guys check that out. But I do want to be I want to look at this Auburn. I want to look at this Texas A&M game, but we're also going to be looking at the Alabama-Ole Miss matchup. And on top of that, since we cannot get away from Deion Sanders, we got to talk about Colorado and this matchup against Oregon, because this is the matchup that we are looking at, that it's going to be like, okay, Well, it wasn't TCU that was the matchup that made this team valid, okay? It definitely wasn't the week before that. It wasn't Colorado State, and that was a close Colorado State matchup. But now you're going up against 10th-ranked Oregon, a quarterback that is very experienced, very talented, and also is a guy that knows how to open up the defense as well, okay? So we're going to definitely be looking into that. On top of that, we'll also be talking with Jamarion Matthews from Sparkman Senators football to kind of preview their matchup that goes down tomorrow night against Grissom. I'm very much excited for that one. He's very much excited for that one.
It just feels like yesterday we were doing last week's matchups. That's how fast the season has been flying by.
It's because we're having so much fun, Bandy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I remember it was the first game of the season. I was so nervous to get in there because for me and you, obviously, we're a little bit newer when it comes to doing these high school games. But whenever we started doing it, we learned that, wow, this is like some of the funnest stuff we've been doing for this station. And honestly, we're just very happy that football season's back. And now, halfway through almost the high school season, we got 2 games into the NFL season, and now we're almost to week 5 in the college football season. It just shows you how much this stuff flies by and how much we want to take advantage of it while it's all going down. But we do need to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to hop into some college football keys to victory in the games that we're going to be talking about, the Alabama Ole Miss, so Oregon's versus the Colorados, as well as the Auburns going up against the Texas A&M Aggies. So that's what's coming up here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hunting and tailgating season is on us, and at Woody Anderson Ford, we believe it's time you got serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 150 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech too, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but doesn't cost a bunch. You can drive one for $499 a month. $499. 36-month lease with $52.10 due at signing. No security deposit plus tax, tag, and title. Includes $399 dealer fee with your good credit. Offer ends September 30th. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Do you want your next party to be something you'll remember? Then head on down to Flosa Premier to book your next big bash. Birthday? Corporate meeting? Maybe just a family reunion so you can get your cousin Kyle back into the basketball court so you can beat him at basketball. I have no idea. Flow is fun for all ages looking for high-flying excitement, arcade fun, and tasty snacks to satisfy your hunger. Whether you have 10 friends or 25, Flow is jam-packed with something fun for everyone. Get jumping with Flow off South Parkway in Drake or head over to flowhuntsville.com to book your next party now.
Don't let your back or neck pain get in the way. Get back to doing the things you love with the spine and neuro team from Huntsville Hospital. As the most experienced in the area, we have been improving lives in North Alabama for more than 50 years. Whether your favorite fishing hole is on Wilson Lake in the Shoals, Flint Creek, or Lake Gunnersville, Spine and Neuro is nearby to get you back to your best. Visit us online at spineandneuro.com to learn more.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to see what I bring to the party?
Congratulations to The Drive as we celebrate a decade of Wes and Steve. Here's to 10 more.
Now Sonny and Cher would say, that's on you, babe.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Now, before we get into the conversation that I'm about to get in, I just want you guys to know, no hard feelings towards Alabama whatsoever. This is my team. I want to see them go on and win the national championship every single year.
You're never going to live that down.
I'm never going to live that down, okay? I want this team to go all the way every single year, and I understand, okay? It's hard to be a dynasty that constantly is getting to the national championship or even let alone the playoffs to get to that point. It's tough. It really is. Year in and year out, all these different talents are coming out of high school, these 5 stars, these 4 stars, Deion Sanders' whack team that he creates. All of this is what's going down in the college football world, and this is the year right now that teams are starting to take advantage of it, okay? They see an Alabama team kind of hurt in the woods. They're going to come after them full swing, all right? You better believe that with everybody, okay? We're going to get into a conversation here about what Alabama needs to do to win against this Ole Miss team, but there are going to be some things that will be reality checks to us Alabama fans, and you guys just need to take it and just kind of roll with it. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to call in because you guys can join in on the conversation and talk about what you think Alabama needs to do to get the win over Ole Miss, because right now Alabama may be sitting at a 7-point favorite, but Ole Miss is coming in this with a tough quarterback, a tough defense, and a very tough offense to boot, okay? So let me just start off by saying Alabama better be thankful, okay, that they're Alabama. Because any other team would either be at the bottom of the top 25 or out of the top 25 with the performances that they've been showing us in the first 3 weeks of the season. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that the talent with this team is unreal. But putting all those pieces together in the span of a year with new coaches as well as a new quarterback at the helm is not easy, okay? Jalen Milroe was thrown into this position. He knew he was going to get it. And you know what? I don't think he was ready just yet. He's a sophomore. Yes, he's played multiple teams. He's played multiple years. He's still not ready to play an Alabama caliber football team.
No, because the last start he had before coming into the season was against Texas A&M last year.
Texas A&M was that last game, and we saw it.
Yeah, we kind of remember how that game went.
Yeah, we saw the talent. They were also playing up against the second-string quarterback for Texas A&M. Alabama was able to squeeze through with the victory, but it wasn't a pretty victory. It wasn't one that we look at and we think, that's going to be a classic. That's one that we want to forget.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, and what has kind of been the trend this year? Like, what's kind of been the same kind of sentiment this year? Like, oh, we don't, like, well, the Middle Tennessee game was good, but the Texas game wasn't pretty, and then coming off against USF,
yeah,
it's like, well, it wasn't. I mean, it was a win. It wasn't pretty. We'll take it.
Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible win. That is one of those wins that you never want to look back on. Okay, I'll say for Alabama's history's sake, let's just kind of forget that one altogether. I don't care if it was a win. It was an ugly, ugly victory that Alabama had to barely get. But I knew it was going to happen, though. I knew it was going to happen. Okay, there's no stress in my mind that thought, oh, well, this USF team's going to upset Alabama. That's not going to happen. Okay.
I mean, when we had like that hour and a half long rain delay, like that was kind of a sign.
Yeah, that kind of got to the point where I was just like, all right, Nick Saban's going to have enough time to cook with this offense. He's going to be able to do something in the span of this time to win this football game. Even though it was a rainy mess, they were able to rely on the run game and get a few passes from their third string, Ty Simpson, and they were able to find victory at the end of that one. But Ole Miss is the next team up, okay? And despite being 7-point dogs in this game, they aren't going into it scared, okay? But, John, they're playing in Bryant-Denny. Do you think Sarkisian cared? Do you think anybody cares right now? I think that these teams that are looking at these teams that have been very competitive in the past, especially this Alabama team, are now thinking, well, there's some cracks. We're noticing it from their other games. This is the year that we can finally get a victory against this Alabama team, okay? After years of Alabama's dominance, teams have been waiting for this moment to defeat them. Ole Miss will do everything they can, and I think Alabama's defense will fare nicely against the Jackson Dart and Judkins. However, if they neglect the running abilities of Dart, it may be a very long night for this side of the ball. Now, the offense is what I have to look at that will dictate this game, whether they can stay competitive or not. And then I got you saying, no duh. Well, the offensive line is what I want to talk about, to be exact, because 12 sacks through 3 games this season, okay? This is one less than all of last season combined, guys. One less, okay? They had 13 sacks throughout all of 2022. We're already looking at 12 sacks in 3 games against opponents that honestly shouldn't have gotten anywhere near our quarterbacks. That's the type of stuff I'm looking at, okay? Yes, part of that is the quarterback position, but Jalen Milroe has just as much running talent as Bryce Young, if not more. It's the experience that Milroe doesn't have to either trust his line or run and possibly throw the ball away. You just got to throw the ball away. That was the biggest problem we saw. Okay, he has the ability to get out. We saw what he was able to do against MTSU, run for those touchdowns, the 43-yard touchdown that he had at the beginning of the game to start it all off. But what we've seen in a Texas matchup, what we will probably see in an Ole Miss matchup, is a little bit of hesitation from Jalen Milroe, where he's not going to want to force the ball down the field. And if anybody tries to make him force the ball down the field, it's going to lead to an interception. A problem that he had last year, the year before that, and already this year, whenever he's not throwing the ball away, he's getting sacked. And he doesn't want to do that either. But that's been the problem, is he's been getting sacked. He hasn't been trusting his arm enough. And that goes back to, well, why do we have him as starting quarterback? Because he's the most experienced, and honestly, he is the most talented. His mind is working against him right now, and a lot of the internet is working against him right now. And these guys got to stay off the internet if they want to find any success, because that stuff's going to get to him.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it's an enigma with him because he wants to be a pocket passer.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he wants to be a pocket passer.
That's the thing. Well, he's got in his mind that he wants to be like a Tom Brady. He wants to be able to throw in the pocket, throw those throw any kind of range ball you want with great accuracy.
Yeah.
But you're denying one of your best assets, and that you are probably without it, 99% of the time you are the fastest person on the field.
Yeah. I will agree with that. He's a quick guy, all right? And he's able to use those feet to extend plays, but he cannot use those feet to extend plays to where he's sacked 5 yards in the backfield.
We need to give him an opportunity.
We got to give him an opportunity.
Yes. We need to actually create plays for him to be on, have him just running straight out.
Yeah.
An RPO-style game.
Yeah.
Just something different than trying to hold the ball for 2.5 seconds in the pocket looking for a receiver.
Yeah.
And also turning down on the interceptions, like the interceptions that were killer against Texas, that's going to be key.
That's going to be key.
Now, again, if he tries to go for a deep ball and it gets picked off and one-on-one coverage, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's whatever. That happens. We're talking about the ones that were in Texas where they were on our side of the field at around a 35-yard line, and we were going for like a 15-yard slant.
Yeah, and it's not what should happen. On a 15-yard slant, you got to be able to find the right guy. It's a quick pass, and this is exactly what they're going to need to be doing against this Ole Miss team, because they have, yet again, experience at that defensive line. One of those guys even played for Alabama a few years ago. And, I mean, let me just go down this line, okay, because it's full of big bodies, all right? You get the 260-pound Cedric Johnson, who he's just a gigantic man. You got the 6'5" Jared Ivory. And then, again, the former Alabama man, Stephon Wynn Jr. So it's not going to be easy for this offensive line, and especially, when you got these big bodies on this offensive line, you can see there's a lot of talent to be had. But the bigger they are, sometimes the slower they are as well, and that's kind of what we've seen. I mean, we got guys going around the edge. This is why I'm scared about Cedric Johnson, okay, the defensive end for this Ole Miss team. He's a fast guy, and he's also extremely, extremely big, all right? So he's going to get around, and you got to watch out because, first off, Jalen Milroe is going to have this guy just breathing down his neck the entire game if we're going to see the same line that we've been seeing in these former games, which it's probably not going to change that different, but Nick Saban can do something. Add a running back there to help out a little bit more, possibly throw another one in there. Tight ends too. Throw those guys out there. anything you can to stop this defensive line from getting to the quarterback will open up this game immensely.
And I'm going to say it, like, maybe, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here.
It's okay.
But we can take it a step further, implement the run game more anyway.
Yeah.
Get Jace McClellan in more plays, get him more touches, carrying the ball. Have your offensive line create gaps for him this time.
Yeah.
Because when we put the ball on the ground, we were having success both against Texas and USF.
Mm-hmm. No.
And you know what also would help Jalen Milroe maybe open up the pass more? We implement some play action in there after establishing the run.
Yeah. I'm thinking the quick passes in the run game need to really flash in this one. But if you've watched any Ole Miss, okay, their defense, their secondary mainly, is the thing that you can find the most cracks in. Because if you're able to run the ball, show that you're just getting a little bit of yardage, and then you're able to chuck the ball down the field like we've known and loved Alabama to do, you're going to be able to find success against Ole Miss's defense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to see. But then the big question is, well, is Jalen Milroe going to trust his arm going deep? We've seen that he trusts his arm going deep. It's those short passes, those medium passes that really get this team in a rut. And I hope that is not what we see this Saturday. You guys can call it 256-5764.
97.7.
And you guys can discuss this as well. But we do need to hop into a break because we do need to hop into a conversation with Jamarion Matthews from Sparkman Senators football. But after that, we're going to finish out this show. The phone lines will be open, and you guys can jump in on the Alabama conversation with us in wake of the Ole Miss matchup this weekend. So, Jamarion Matthews on the other side here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the G-Bank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
Thursday Night Football, the 2-0 49ers host the 1-1 Giants. The matchup at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. 49ers cornerback Ambry Thomas has been out with a knee injury. He's listed as questionable, but is expected to play. Former Steelers cornerback Anthony Brown is signed to the Niners' 53-man roster after a workout Tuesday. Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson is listed as questionable, but he's expected to play and make his season debut. He's coming back from a torn ACL suffered early last season. The Giants are favored by 10.5 at home. New York a plus 450 underdog. The over-under is 44. The Niners and defending champion Chiefs now plus 700 to win the Super Bowl.
Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello and welcome in, everybody, to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
And we got a conversation here in a second that's going to be quite amazing because I've been waiting for this one for a while. But before we hop into that one, we will tell you that this hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online and fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Now, on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is a big-time bruiser for Sparkman Senators football, and that is one Mr. Jamarion Matthews. Jamarion, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, we cannot complain. We got football tomorrow. We got football the day after. We got football the day after that. It's just plenty of football, so we are in a good mood. But kind of talking about Sparkman Senators football, just tell us. I mean, you know, you guys have found success. You're 4-0 on the season. This team has been absolutely lights out on defense. Kind of just talk about what is needed, what the connection is that you and your teammates have to find such a dominant defense in this 2023 season.
Yes, sir. Our defense, we're like all talented, and we have great communication. So when a player is not in the right position, we're gonna make sure they're in the right position to make a play. And just in case one don't make a play, we're going to make sure other make the play.
Exactly. And I kind of just talk about how you got into football in the first place because, I mean, it looks like you were probably a born natural or something. I mean, you're a sophomore. You've got the size. You're 6'3", over 200 pounds. I mean, you're a big body on this defensive line, and you're also a big factor on this defensive line. Kind of just talk about how it got started in the first place.
It started when I was in Gurley, Alabama, and I used to always go watch my big brother play football. And, like, just watching the contact, the physicalness, and, like, just watching it, it just made me happy. So that made me fall in love with the sport, and I've just been playing it ever since.
Exactly, and I mean we can tell that you definitely take into that physical ability. I mean you show it on the field every single week, and I mean the team is. I mean for points for, the team has 175 points against. It was all 18 points from one team. I mean just talk about the opponents you faced off against and how you guys have been able to find so much success, and also I mean talk about the rest of that defensive line. I mean Whittle, talk about Kari Petty. I mean just talk about just the connection that you have with those guys as well.
Yeah, we always be prepared every single week. We're going over film, watching film, learning what the other team is going to do, look at everything they do to get prepared for that game. And, like, the D-line I have, man, they're great. We're all tough, fast, physical, talented, and the coaches we got, Coach Matt, Coach 30, Coach Brazil, they just teach us so much and help us with things that we need help with, and we just be great.
Of course, and I bet it's a lot easier to play great when you don't have to worry too much about what that offense is doing. You got Josh Ward, Jaden Scott, I mean Jaden Drip Thomas, you got Jaden Lamar. I mean, you got a bunch of playmakers on this side of the ball as well. Kind of just talk about how big it is for your team to have a solid offense to kind of match up with that solid defense.
Oh, yeah, our offense is great. Yeah, Josh Ward, our O-line, in practice, we competitive. We compete with each other. We make each other great and fix the things that we need fixed, and we just compete every single rep to make our offense better and they make our defense better.
Exactly, and then kind of talk about what Coach Ronnie Watson has been telling you guys week in and week out prior to these games. What's really the message that has stuck with you going into this season?
Going into the season, every time we win a game, right now we're 4-0, But the best thing about being 4-0 is going 5-0. and he give us the word every week to play to. And our word this week is respect. We got to respect the game, respect our teammates, respect in school, and respect all around.
Exactly, and going into this matchup against Grissom, you guys were able to handle them pretty fairly last year, but going into them this year, kind of just talk about what your role is going to be in this game, as well as what the concerns are from this Grissom team, what the coach has really been circling, which number, who are you going to be targeting the most in this game?
Yeah, watch your film on Grissom. They are an 80% run team, and they run this offense, slot T offense. And they have some big players. Number 4, he's a physical downhill runner. Number 22, when he's in the game, they're going to try to get the ball to him. And they have a good QB number 1.
Yeah, and then talk about that one matchup you guys had in week 3 of this season against Austin. I mean, this is the real one that I like to look at because whenever it comes to a good team and a great team, there's a good team that's able to beat the bad teams like they're able to, and then when they go up against the other good teams, it usually gets to them a little bit. But you guys were able to handle the Black Bears in a close matchup earlier this season. Kind of just talk about what was really going through your mind every single time you stepped on that field.
Stepping onto that field against Austin, I knew it was nothing but straight business because losing our brother that was supposed to be playing with us that game, we lost him, so we know we have to do it for him. So going against Austin, it was just straight business. We had to get straight to the business.
I love that mindset. Now, looking forward, obviously, we always ask you guys who we want or who you want on next week. Kind of just tell us one of your teammates that you kind of want to hear talk about their side of it all on next week's show.
Oh, a teammate that I want to hear on the next week's show.
Yep.
He's a big part of the offensive team. My big brother, Jaden Lamar.
Hey, I've been waiting for this guy. I mean, like, I hear so much about him. Everybody talks about how he's one of the guys that really helps lead the team. But we haven't got him on the show yet, and I'm actually very excited about that. But, I mean, you were the guy that I was really wanting to talk to on the defensive side. I mean, obviously, you guys have just a plethora of talent, so it's hard to choose one. But I'm a big fan of Myles Garrett in the NFL. And whenever I see you play, it does remind me of that, where you're able to just break past that offensive line and either get to the quarterback or get to the running back, whoever you need to do. But Jaden Lamar going to hop on with us next Thursday to talk a little bit of Sparkman football. But we appreciate your time, Jamarion. We got to let you get back to class. I know you don't want to, but let the people know where they can listen to the game tomorrow night.
I don't know where the game will be at Sparkman High School, but I don't know where they can watch it at.
Oh, well, they can listen to it right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. You tell your friends that. You tell your family that as well. But we appreciate it, Jamarion. Can't wait to talk with Lamar next week, and can't wait to see you guys go down against the Grissom Tigers tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Good stuff from Jamarion Matthews. Next week, we get the center. We get the guy that likes to drizzle the syrup on his pancakes. He's on the back of the truck that rides with the equipment. I'm very excited for that, Bandy. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I can tell how excited you are.
Yeah, no, we've talked to so many different football players, okay, whether it was Josh Ward, whether it was Drip Thomas, whether it was Jamarion Matthews, and we've heard so many people just kind of talk about what the character is that this kid brings to this football team, and now we get to finally talk with him next week. But I'm glad that we had Jamarion Matthews on, because if you guys haven't watched or heard what we do whenever this Sparkman team plays, it's almost every other defensive play that we're bringing up Matthews' name, as well as the rest of that defensive line, because of how stout that they truly are. But very much looking forward to that game, very much looking forward to that interview. But Bandy, we're also, not just playing the Sparkman Grissom game. On top of that, we got a good little matchup with you, with the Randolph team going up against Westminster. You want to try to preview that one for us a little bit?
Well, it'll be our first home game back, since the very first game of the season against West Morgan. And kind of the unique benefit of actually 2 weeks before now is that North Jackson, Randolph's previous opponent, actually played Westminster during that game.
Okay. So they got a little bit of test reps against each other as well. It was a little 2-for-1 on the film study right there.
2-for-1 on the film study. you can never be mad at that. But it's gonna be a great battle. Coach Matthews' defense has been absolutely stout.
Yeah.
These last 2 games. Not allowing any points in the second half.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Oh, my. You find success.
Single-digit first downs.
You find success if you do have a solid defense in high school football, because that's the one thing. I mean, a lot of the times you'll find offenses be that real thing that you look at with some of these high school teams, the very high-scoring offenses with the fast power and all that stuff. But on the other side, I mean, me and you both, we get to watch these teams that have very stout defenses, and it holds these games to being pretty close whenever the opponents are able to match up, because if they can't match up, the defense obviously will put an egg up on that board for those opponents, and we have definitely seen it time in and time out with Sparkman with 3 shutouts on the season.
I think the key for Randolph, though, is going to be can they keep Westminster on the ground?
Yeah.
Because their quarterback is, I would say, one of the better quarterbacks in the region.
Okay.
And that their game plan does revolve around being in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So can they keep Westminster on the ground? I think if they do that, Coach Matthews' defensive line is going to be able to just stop them at every single turn.
Yeah, and you guys will be able to find that out tomorrow night on Zone 3. Randolph going up against Westminster Christian Academy. And then looking over on the Zone 5 matchup, it's going to be Huntsville versus Bob Jones and Joe Davis. So definitely go to Flow Trampoline Park and then hop over there. And then on top of that, on Zone 2, you'll have a wonderful matchup with Madison Academy at Danville. So if you can't make it out to Danville, you got to listen into Zone 2, because you'll be able to keep up with every single snap with the Scuba Steve, and I'm very much looking forward to that one as well. Even though I can't listen to all of them because I'll have my own game to call with Joe Abraham on Zone. Well, it's going to be on the Zone, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But we got to hop into a break, Bandy. When we come back, Alabama, Ole Miss, you guys can hop in on the conversations. 256-5764.
97.7
is the number to call, and we'll be seeing what Alabama can do against this high-powered offense of Ole Miss to see if they can get their first victory against an SEC opponent this season. That's what's coming up here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Installation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowery of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Partly sunny sky through Friday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. For Friday night football, we're looking at temperatures hanging out in the 70s. Dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. A fantastic front half of the weekend. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN The Zone.
Hello and welcome back in, everybody. Final segment of the Morning Blitz on this beautiful Thursday. You guys can hop in 256-5764.
97.7.
Because we're going to be talking a little bit of Alabama football in wake of their matchup against the Ole Miss Rebels, who, first off, the keys to victory. Can we talk about this? Because I feel like it's going to go down to the offense for Alabama. If Nick Saban and Tommy Rees is able to kind of figure something out, as to where they can kind of adjust this offense to Jalen Milroe, I think the offense is going to be able to find success. But it really goes down to the offense that needs to be able to win this game, because the defense is going to be able to have a fine time, okay? Defense is going to be going up against this Ole Miss Rebels team, and I know, before you say it, this is one of the highest averaged yards per game team in all of the SEC. That is very much true. But you want to know what a lot of those yards come from? whenever you give up the runs. The run game for Ole Miss is pretty stellar, okay? And it's not even just Judkins, because he's been kind of held in check throughout this season, but it looks over to Jackson Dart, the starting quarterback of this team, who is a complete bruiser on the field, I have to say, because this guy, whenever he's held to, I'd say, under 50 yards rushing, the games get a lot closer. And that's what we saw in this Ole Miss versus Tulane matchup, where Tulane honestly just gave up in the ending of this game. I mean, Tulane played a solid match all the way through, but they were just not able to get into the end zone, get into the red zone at the later half of it. But they were able to hold up this offense long enough to wherever they had the lead going into the second half, they just didn't play 4 quarters of football. But you see what they're able to do against Jackson Dart, hold him to only 41 yards rushing off of 14 carries, hold the running game altogether to only, right under 100 yards, because Quinshawn Judkins, he only had 48 yards in that game as well. But then you look over to the games like the Georgia Tech mess that happened, that honestly was not as close as, well, it was a very close game. It was closer than a lot of people think. If you're just looking at the scoreboard, that's not really what you got to look at, because this Georgia Tech team was able to come back in the later half. But 48-23 was the score in this one. They were able to kind of utilize that secondary a little bit. They were finding the cracks in the secondary. They were able to shoot the ball down the field for some quick touchdowns. That's where a majority of points come from teams going up against Ole Miss, okay? But this is the one thing they neglected, okay? On offense, their team did not cover the run from Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart had 14 carries for 136 yards, and he also was able to pass for 251. That's not where they find all of their victories, though. In the air is not where they find it, okay? Where they find their victories is with the running game, because Jackson Dart also had 2 touchdowns, as well as 3 other running backs. They had 3 touchdowns all spread out throughout them. 1 touchdown in the passing game from Jackson Dart, and he only put up 251 yards, which in college football is more like 130 compared to the NFL, okay? If this defense for Alabama is able to hold this team up, and the offense for Alabama is able to adjust to Jalen Milroe's play style, then we could very well see a upset victory. I say that's an upset victory, because the way that I'm looking at this Alabama team, they are not where they need to be able to be competitive throughout this West in the SEC. Everybody has a chance, okay? Alabama might be 7-point favorites, but I don't want to take that the same way I don't want to take Auburn as being 7-point underdogs against Texas A&M. There are some cracks within Texas A&M as well that Auburn's going to be able to take advantage of, the same way Alabama is going to be able to take advantage of the Ole Miss team. Jackson Dart, hold him under 50 yards rushing. The passing game, we'll be fine. We got a great secondary, okay? But that offense for Ole Miss can get you if they start going a little bit of that quarterback running, because that's something that Alabama has not seen, very much, I'd say, confidence against in the past few years. Bandy, am I wrong by saying that?
I mean, I don't necessarily say that you're wrong, but I mean, going into this game, I actually have more confidence in our defensive line than our secondary, really,
sure.
to start with this run defense.
Yeah.
Because I think holding Jackson Dart to under 50 yards, I think that's actually very feasible for this defensive line to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's something we could very well see on Saturday. But the secondary could be the issue if we don't put pressure on Jackson Dart, if he's able to have time in the pocket and look for that 30-yard deep ball. I mean, is it fair to say that that's actually the biggest threat to this Alabama defense is the deep ball from Jackson Dart rather than his run game?
Well, that's the thing, though, because being able to open it up with his feet, that's the one thing you got to worry about the most. This defensive line is full of big bodies, and I think Alabama's going to be fine in that front, but they need to get to him a little bit quicker, because they're not going up against any normal offensive line. This is a big-time SEC offensive line with Ole Miss, and this team, stellar on defense, stellar on offense, but the cracks are visible, Bandy.
Yeah, but that was my biggest complaint, is that we weren't putting enough pressure on Quentin Ewers when we were going up against Texas.
Yeah, that's a huge thing, because we got to be able to take care of that quarterback, either the running game, and then if he's taken care of with that running game, that passing game is going to be a little bit more shaky, because as we've seen, whenever teams do put pressure on the quarterback, that passing game has to try and open up. And we do see those pressures turn into interceptions like Tulane did back in week 2. Held them under 300 yards and held them under 50 yards on the run game. So, for me and the Bandiman, we'll be back in 22 hours. We got a fun Friday tomorrow. This has been the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying, roll.